Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Sitting here Friday morning. Massive matchup for the Miami Hurricanes tonight against Virginia Tech. Let's all get the opportunity to kind of call our shot heading into this matchup. Who's going to be the breakout performer for this Miami Hurricanes program against Virginia Tech? And I think this is a fascinating conversation because you look up and down this Miami Hurricanes roster, you've had a ton of guys that have started to break out to start the 2024 season. I think Isaiah Horton is probably the first name that comes to mind. I think Jaden Harris at the safety spot has played really well. My name to kind of keep an eye on heading into this matchup, true freshman running back Jordan Lyle. I want to go with Jordan Lyle for a couple of different reasons, but I think most notably, this Miami Hurricanes team hasn't necessarily had to rely on the run game in the early parts of 2024. I think that has a lot to do with just Cam Ward being the best quarterback in the country right now. Why run the football all the time when you have a quarterback that is just dicing up secondaries? That certainly makes a ton of sense. But I think more importantly, look at this matchup against Virginia Tech and say, this is a secondary that's very hard to throw against. You look at a 51% completion percentage for opposing quarterbacks against Virginia Tech, that's top 10 in the country. They are sacking the quarterback 11.6% of dropbacks. That is number 4 in the country, but they haven't been all that great against the run, giving up 4.5 yards per carry. That's 75th in the country. Now, we've seen Miami really lean on this passing attack through the first couple weeks of the season, which again makes sense. And I'm not even getting up here and saying Miami won't be able to throw the football on Virginia Tech. Like when you have Cam Ward at your quarterback spot, you can probably throw in most defenses that you're going to play. But in this particular matchup, I wouldn't be surprised if Miami leans a little bit more on the run game. And although Miami hasn't necessarily leaned on the run game all that much in 2024 so far, you look at the numbers, they're averaging 6.2 yards per carry. That's top 10 in the country. I feel like a lot of Miami fans have been I don't know if frustrated is the right word, but hey, where's this rushing attack? Well, it's been there. They're just not necessarily going to it with how good Cam Ward and these wide receivers are playing. Want to dive into what we've seen from Jordan Lyle, why I'm going with Jordan Lyle as that kind of surprise standout against Virginia Tech tonight. Now, before we get into it, as always, to the Miami Hurricane fans, we're going to be breaking this one down late Friday night. So, y'all know I love talking this program. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Much more importantly, we all get the opportunity to kind of call our shot. What player, you can't go with Cam Ward, you can't go with Xavier Estrepo. What player is going to maybe be that surprise standout for this Miami program Friday night against Virginia Tech? Let it fly in the comment section. We'll see who's right when we're recapping it Friday night. Fired up to get into this one. Let's get into Jordan Lyle first and I want to do two different things. One, talk about Jordan Lyle as a running back and what he brings to this Miami Hurricanes offense. But I think more importantly, let's dive into just a little bit of the film and talk about why Jordan Lyle, as a true freshman, has been really impressive for this Hurricanes offense early to start 2024. Now, Jordan Lyle, a fascinating prospect coming out of high school, is committed to Ohio State, flips to the Miami Hurricanes. Look, there were a lot of recruiting services that weren't really quite sure how to evaluate Jordan Lyle. 24/7 Sports has him as a solid blue chip running back, but not necessarily a top 10 running back in the class. You look at On3, they had him as the number 1 running back in the 2024 cycle, and quite frankly, for good reason. I think the thing that stands out to me about Jordan Lyle the most is one, he's extremely explosive, as we saw in that 91-yard touchdown run we saw against USF, but he's really balanced too. Like he can attack the line of scrimmage and run behind his pads. It's really hard to find running backs that can kind of give you the best of both worlds. I think Jordan Lyle is one of those running backs. But I think more importantly, in kind of this Miami Hurricanes running back rotation, where you go back 3 months ago, we weren't necessarily banging the table for Jordan Lyle. And it wasn't because we didn't like Jordan Lyle, but it was more because you had Damian Martinez and Mark Fletcher and maybe Chris Johnson as that change of pace running back kind of the first couple weeks into the season. Yeah, Damian Martinez and Mark Fletcher, those are your battering ramp kind of guys. If you were to ask me who leads this Miami Hurricanes team in carries on Friday night, I would go with Damian Martinez. But I think Jordan Lyle is going to get some touches. And what's special about Jordan Lyle is he gives you a little bit of a different flavor. He's more explosive than those two running backs. I think he can hit the big play just a little bit better. We've seen that to start 2024. although Jordan Lyle might not get 15 carries in this football game, I think he can have a massive impact on what Miami wants to do Friday night. And I think the thing that stands out the most, he's one of the highest graded pass protectors for this Miami Hurricanes team. That's normally what keeps true freshmen off the field as running backs, right? Hey, we don't have a question mark about how you can carry the football, but can you hold up in pass protection and do some of the nitty gritty stuff at a high level to let you play and get on the football field early? Jordan Lyle has done that. Then you dive into the film and say, you love what you've seen from this kid early on to start 2024. And I think it starts with how he attacks the line of scrimmage. Yeah, we're going to take a look at the run against USF, but I want to start with what Jordan Lyle does in terms of just down and down out running the football hard. One of the biggest things we see young freshman running backs struggle with when they get to the collegiate level is, hey, I'm suddenly not just the fastest player on the football field. I can't just out athlete everybody. Now I got to run the right way and read my keys. Take a look at this one against Ball State. One, let's note Francis Maui Noah at the right tackle spot. quick shout out to Francis. He's been one of the best tackles in the country throughout the first couple of games. You're going to see it right here. Kind of, you see one Francis just absolutely washing down this edge defender, then getting up to the linebacker. But look at Jordan Lyle. I think you see a lot of young running backs see all that space and start to get the happy feet and start dancing. Like Jordan Lyle sees, hey, I can go get 9 yards of tough running. That's what I'm going to do. If you could take a 9 yard carry on 1st and 10, you're taking it every single time. Jordan Lyle seeing it, and then just I'm going to attack the line of scrimmage. I'm going to get downhill. I'm going to run behind my pads, and I'm going to go pick up 9-10 yards. That's how you do it. And again, a quick shout out to Francis. One, absolutely washing this edge defender. And then we're going to get up to the linebacker and pick up the linebacker too. Francis Mauigoa is playing just at another level for this Miami Hurricanes program, kind of going under the radar because of how good Cam Ward has been. Francis has been phenomenal at that right tackle spot. But hey, this is an episode about Jordan Lyle attacking the line of scrimmage, getting downhill. And you see this all over the film. You take a look a little bit later in this football game against Ball State. Very, very similar, right? Jordan Lyle, he's not a dancer. Like, I want to just, guys, see this. We got some good leverage outside. So we're just going to hammer it between the tackles and go pick up 9-8 yards of really tough running. The ability to attack the line of scrimmage and take what's there for a young running back is often rare to see. Jordan Lyle is doing that. And he's not necessarily the biggest running back, right? He's not Mark Fletcher, Damian Martinez that go 220 plus. Jordan Lyle probably hovering around 195 pounds, but he does not run like a 195-pound running back. Now, we've seen him attack the line of scrimmage both times. Take a look at this 91-yard rushing run. Hey, you talk about just feel at the running back position. Oh, we got to mute this here. One, we're going to start off attacking downhill. But when we see this outside defender really suck in here, we don't see much going on between the tackles. Hey, we're going to bounce it out. And he has the juice. I mean, this is shot out of a cannon type thing. If you're a safety and you take a bad angle, you're cooked against Jordan Lyle. Again, I love Damian Martinez and Mark Fletcher. I don't think those two running backs bring this kind of juice when you get outside and when you get the space. Again, shot out of a cannon and just burning everyone for a touchdown. But again, you go back to how he set up this run, nothing's really there. We're seeing this second level defender really suck in. We see that the bounce out's there. He's not a bounce out happy running back, but when the opportunity presents itself, he's going to go make it happen. That's exactly what he does. Safety takes a bad angle, and Jordan Lyle can kind of have a game-changing moment in this football game. And so I think the combination of one, Jordan Lyle just being a really, really good running back, I think that certainly helps our breakout prediction. But number two, I do think Miami might lean on the rushing attack more than we've had seen the first couple of games of the season. That's what excites me about Jordan Lyle. I think there are a ton of guys that could potentially break out in this football game. I think some of the young secondary guys in general could. Kyron Jones, kind of noteworthy, doesn't always take care of the football. I think you could see some young Hurricanes defensive backs get their hands on some footballs too on the outside. I'm going to go Jordan Lyle because I expect Miami to try to run the football a little bit more than they've had in previous games. Would love to hear your guys' kind of bold predictions, right? We all get the opportunity to kind of put our flag in the ground, call our shot, if you will. Would love to hear how you guys are feeling about this one. Appreciate y'all rocking with it. If you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.